Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe. Welcome to a brand new episode of I'm sorry, of Cause We're Geeks, where we encourage you to stay geeks, man. Listen, you need the man that's rocking the symbol of a man that's not a fascist. It is your boy, Real.
It's your boy Will.
If you seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Listen,
Yeah.
guys, got a good one for you today, man. We got a couple of subjects we want to touch on, but before we do that, man, we got to get into this thing here, man. We gotta get into the blue beetle, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, cause you already know how we do this. Spoilers, spoilers. There you
Spoilers.
go. Listen, if you have not seen the movie, we encourage you to go see it. Come back and let us know what you think about the blue beetle. So from this point on, there will be spoilers. We're just letting you know that right now. And here we go. All right, cuz listen, Blue Beetle just dropped. I seen it last night with my wife. You seen it last year, Christmas. So we're about to get into it, man. So this is how we normally do it. We give you guys our thoughts on the movie, then we give you our rating from 1 to 10 on the movie. So, cuz, what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on the Blue Beetle?
I think they did well. I think I was nervous, when they been overall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, DC's been struggling with the movies. Like Flash was good, but it didn't have people out to go watch it. But this one, I think it has a chance to do well. I'm not going to say it's going to be great or like it's going to be one of the greatest of all time or anything like that. But I think it's going to hold its own. The action was great. The family dynamic was fantastic. Just the I think what they've done well when it comes to the like basically like black and brown families when it comes to the superheroes. Us growing up, we know like you just being black, like the family's in your business. Like that's just known. So it's going to be hard for there to be a black or brown superhero without the family being in your business. So I think they did really well having, yeah, he just got it out the way. Uh, him turning into the Blue Beetle right there in front of his family.
Yeah.
So that they're just going to be right there in his business to begin with. He's
And
not
let's
keeping
sneak
any
around.
secrets from. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's going to be really hard to do to stick around and keep your family out the business. So I think them doing that was really good. Can we give a round of applause to George Lopez? Like, oh man, he was great in it.
Yeah, he was good.
It was that wild uncle, the anti-government conspiracy theory. It's always don't trust the electronics, but had a great scream as to go with it as well. Like he was fantastic. He was much better in it than I expected. I thought he would
Yeah.
be part of it, but he had a major part. He was in there majorly, and then he said his own very well in this movie. So yeah, I really enjoyed him. Also being able to bring the immigration part of their family, like what the father went through to bring
Grandmother.
half everyone there, keep them all together as a family unit, was massive. Just to show like they do have a chance to grow this, and I know that they said. Superman will be the beginning of the new DCU, but I hope that this Blue Beetle will be part of it. It was a fun film. It was a breath of fresh air. The even the villain, his backstory that they gave you was like his. It was what I thought was great about his backstory was it was essentially it could be just real life. It could what the American government and American military complex has done. over the decades and beyond has allowed for his backstory to be possible. And I think just allowing him to ground him into what could be reality made like this even that much better. You know, we know it's not reality. We know like the technology and everything is like way advanced and everything, but just when you base major parts of these type of films in the reality, it just brings that extra touch. It's like you're going against this guy for so much of the movie that it's like he needs to fail, and then when they give him his backstory, like they did a flashback of what he's been through, his family, his mom, and
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like it's like, oh, I see why you're like this. You know, it's like it's just you're you're essentially you're forced into this role to just to be able to survive, uh, to be able to make it day to day, and it was great. It was really great. I think that just the storytelling of it all. I think Blue Beetle they really did well. I'm hoping, like I said, for this one, I hope more and more people go see it. To allow for him to be around after the new Superman, because I think the Blue Beetle character, like he did very well. He held his own in this type of movie. To it's a the most that I know about Blue Beetle was from more of the cartoons, the Young
Mm-hmm.
Justices, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
More
Yep.
of that than the comic book itself.
Right.
So that's where my understanding of him comes from. So just from looking at it from there to here, I think they did really well. So, what you got?
Yeah. That's that. You right. No, because I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, man. When matter of fact, let me tell you what let me tell you before I give you that. Let me give you the Rotten Tomato scores. Right now, tomato meter is at a 75, but
Mhm.
the audience rating is at a 92.
Nice, nice, nice.
So listen, bro, good movie, like you said. We are not too familiar with the Blue Beetle, like you said. It's not a mainstay in comics unless you're like a diehard comic fan. Um, it was a lot in this movie, man. That like you said, I know a lot of people get their understanding of the Blue Beetle from Young Justice, right? That's what a lot of
Yeah.
people online were saying. Like I didn't really know too much about Blue Beetle, but until Young Justice. But did you? I don't know if you remember this. You remember when they had the very first edition of Blue Beetle on screen? It was in Smallville. Remember that?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, lot of people probably don't even remember that. Yeah, he was in Smallville.
Yeah,
Um, so remember that when Booster Gold came back and all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. So like you said, man, good movie, family dynamic. Um, the characters as far as Blue Beetle, this iteration of Blue Beetle in the comics is the third iteration of Blue
okay,
Beetle. You, there was Dan Garrett. Of course, there was a lot of people know Ted Cord, and then of course now Jaime Reyes.
yeah,
Um, so he's now the third iteration of Blue Beetle. Kind of go back what you said. If you go back and watch the podcast with Michael Rosenbaum podcast when he had James Gunn on there, like I recommend y'all go watch it. He had a lot of stuff to talk about with the DCU going forward. If y'all had any questions, um, he talked about the Blue Beetle, talking about Blue Beetle being the first hero in the DCU, and he's talking about Man of Steel. I'm sorry, Superman Legacy being the first DC movie. So, and that's straight out of James Gunn's mouth. So him saying that means that they do have plans with Blue Beetle moving forward, going into the DCU. So, like I said, if y'all have not watched that podcast, I recommend y'all watch it. It's a very good podcast. Like I said, James Gunn touched on a lot of stuff in that podcast. Um, so with the movie, man, like a lot of the stuff, man, kind of felt James Gunnish. The way they kind of tackled a lot of the characters and stuff, man. The way the looks of the characters, because Blue Beetle looked just like he did in the comics. Carapace looked exactly like he did in the comics. The only difference is Carapace wasn't like some mercenary or whatever, or somebody they trained up and all that stuff. He was actually a kind of an archaeologist or whatever. They changed his origin a little bit there in the movie, but um, I guess it kind of worked out in the end as far as it kind of playing a part on why Jaime didn't do anything like evil to him or kill him or whatever like that. He kind
Hmm.
of the scarab kind of gave him a chance to look and say, "Yo, hold on, this is why he's acting like this." And that
Yeah.
was pretty good dynamic. The scarab, they like I said, the way the scarab kind of morphed onto him and stuff like that, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, the like you said, George Lopez stole the movie, man.
Yeah. He was
George
fantastic.
Lopez stole the movie, man. That was pretty interesting. So I found out a little interesting information, man. Did you stay
Mhm.
after the credits?
I did the. It was the first part of the credits, the early credits. Was there anything like beyond the credits?
Yeah, it was a post credit scene too. But you
Post
didn't.
credits.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing.
Oh.
Uh, so you saw where somebody was like saying Ted Cord is still alive.
Yeah.
So supposedly, what's the man's name that plays Ted Lasso? From Saturday Night Live.
Uh. Uh. Galifianakis. No.
Uh,
I know you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
look his name.
Look at
I'm
it.
blanking on names. I hate this when we do this on
Yeah.
Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, look his name up. But yeah, he is supposedly was supposed to be Blue Beetle.
Oh.
Ted Cord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, he's supposed to
Getting
be Ted
some
Cord.
babies.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he is supposed to be Ted Cord. I think I heard something about how they had to reshoot it and took him out or something like that. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that look, we everybody knows that the DCEU is ending and they're about to start the DCU. So we don't know exactly who is going to be in what and all that stuff because we're hearing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Um, because there are some characters here in the DCEU that's going to move over to the DCU. We already know that, like Amanda Waller, Peacemaker, Harley Quinn. You know what I'm saying? Folks like that. They're going to move over. We know that. Like we said, James Gunn himself said that Blue Beetle is going to be over there. So they might not use that storyline for the next Blue Beetle. They might use something else. So that's probably why they took it out. We don't know yet. We have to wait and see how things go. Blah blah blah. And I think that's the right way. That's the right way to go. That's fine. Because look, in the comics, we already know, man. Ted Cord ended up dying in the comics, and Jaime ended up taking over. Um, I kind of thought they were gonna have that same angle, like, oh, he died or whatever. Jaime's gonna take over, but in this case, they just say he was missing. He's still alive, but in the comics, he actually died. So, um, also too, man. A lot of people don't know too. Like, if you ever watched The Watchmen, and was a guy named Night Owl. A lot of
Yeah.
his sensibilities came from the Blue Beetle, like that little ship he got, the little Blue Beetle
Yeah.
ship, the little
Yeah.
owl ship he was flying. All that came from
Yeah.
them. Because supposedly, man, Alan Moore when he done the night, the Watchmen comic book series, he wanted to use a lot of DC characters, and DC wouldn't let him because he was gonna kill some characters out. He didn't want him to use it, so that's why he ended up
Yeah.
creating his own characters or whatever. Which you see a lot, like Rorschach looks like the Question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you got a
Um.
lot. Yeah, that's why you got a lot of those characters looking like that and stuff. So,
Yeah.
Doctor Manhattan was supposed to be, I think, Captain Atom, I believe, and
Yeah. Which
what I'm saying.
makes
So they,
sense.
yeah, it makes sense. So, but yeah, just a kind of little tidbit there. But yeah, man, like I said, man, good movie. Uh, I the Sharon, what's her name? Susan Sarandon character, who was
Yeah.
supposed to be Ted Cord's sister. Her villain seemed very Saturday morning cartoonish to me.
Yeah.
Like, I think they could have did a little bit more. They tried to do certain things to make her seem like she was bad. Like,
Yeah.
just like, oh, like she was kind of like a racist bad CEO or whatever. Like, it was like I didn't believe it. It was like, okay, you could tell like in the movie it seemed like they were just trying to make her seem like, kept calling the old dude, what was it, uh what
Oh,
was it,
Sanchez.
yeah, Sanchez, yeah. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just don't feel it believable. Like, because I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you, when I heard she was classed as a bad guy, I can't see Susan Sarandon as a bad guy. I was like,
Yeah.
hey,
It's
maybe she'll surprise me when we get to the movie, but I was just like, nah, I'm just not really feeling it, man. I'm not seeing it. But
yeah.
Carapax, the old Max uh dynamic of the movie, man. Listen, I've seen different iterations of All Max in the
Mm,
comics. Uh, I I kind of was disappointed in how they handled them. I see how they combined Carapax with Omac, like
yeah.
they combined that whole dynamic together to say he had a Omac suit. But like I said, I was just watching a video talking about that. Actually, his consciousness got um transferred over into that suit. And he became a living suit. That suit or whatever what he was in.
Yeah.
So the suit is pretty much like the suit in the comic or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Omac though, man, that it's like it's kind of like a program that they use in the comics. I know in New 52, Batman was the one who controlled it. He created it or whatever. Then he kind of
Yeah.
just went out of control or whatever. Think of like Skynet,
Yeah.
something
Okay.
like that. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
where like, but
Yeah.
he created it to kind of like have like a worldwide like security system or whatever, or like a global like protection system or whatever. And
Yeah.
whenever you had those type of things, and the robots end up taking over. That's how that usually works in
Yeah.
in the movies and the shows or whatever. And
Yeah.
so that's what ended up happening in there. But in the comics, like Omac was actually the original Omac was actually like a superhero who was taken over by Brother Eye, who would beam down his beam to this like normal guy, kind of like how Steve Rogers was when he first came out, all scrawny and stuff. Beam his
Yeah.
beam down to him, and then he'll turn it to this ultra. Like the each letter means a word or whatever. It was
Yeah.
come out to be Omac. Um, so, but yeah, they kind of changed up that a little bit, and I hated that they destroyed it. I would like to see James Gunn kind of go back to that, like touch back on that aspect of it in
Yeah.
future movies, like, or we could just say like, just forget about the movie or whatever, just say Omac something different now, whatever. I would like to him go back to it, man. 'Cause I like that. I like the Omac dynamic, man. I liked it in the comics. You know what I'm saying? I the first time I learned about it, I saw it in now people gonna be like, well, you saw it in that, and that's why you got it. But Batman Brave and the Bold, when he had
Mm,
Omac on there, and Brother
yeah.
Eye and all that stuff. So like yeah, he'll like call down to Brother Eye to kind of give him more power and all that stuff. And so he got that little weird mohawk that be just would never like move around or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. What's your what would you give it as a score, man?
Solid 7.5. Think it was consistent. It like I said, it was refreshing. It was something that you could just sit down and enjoy. And it felt, and it wasn't that long of a movie either. Like it felt quick, really quick. So yeah,
Yeah,
7.5.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna give it a 7.5, man. Uh, like I said, like you said, solid movie, man. Do recommend people see it. Um, I don't know right now what the box office is gonna be looking like. Um, I hope it's enough to where like you said, it's not gonna hurt DC because I forgot how many movies that be in a row, and you still got Aquaman 2 coming out, and we're not
Yeah,
hearing good things
yeah,
about that right now. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. I hope, man. Like I said, it's a good movie to me. I feel like it's the best one of the like more recent, like
Oh,
over the last
absolutely.
over the last like what 5 years or whatever of DC
Yeah.
movies. I would say it's probably the best one to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like the highest rated DC movie since I want to say Wonder Woman. I believe I
Yeah.
could be wrong. The first Wonder Woman, not 84.
Yeah.
84.
Yeah.
Um, I could be wrong. I think I think it's what I heard. But yeah. But yeah, that's what we got, man, for the Blue Beetle, man. Definitely recommend y'all go watch that.
Please go see it.
All right, man. We're gonna get into this subject here, man. We're gonna turn the page from DC. We're gonna turn the page to Marvel.
My bad.
Listen, man. I sent this to you the other day.
Yep.
So we know we've been talking about Marvel here for a while. I know a lot of people talking about Marvel here online and all those good things. Um, because it's a subject me and you talked about at length before, off camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, you know my feelings about this. We're gonna get into it here. Um, we're talking about how certain characters are treated in movies and stuff like that. I know we hate to be those people that's like, oh, that's not what happened in the comic. I hate to be
Yeah.
that person, man, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard. You gotta it comes out. That's just part of your fandom, part of your geekdom, right?
Yeah.
We always hear people like whenever we see a movie based off a book, we hear people who read the book like that's not what happened in the book, and we're like, man, it's a good movie. Why are you complaining?
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
but then we turn around and do that for the comic book movies. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but in this case, man, listen, this character we feel like has been kind of has not had his justice, and we
Yeah.
don't know when that's going to come anytime soon. And that's this character here. We're going to talk about the treatment of the Hulk in the MCU. There were some comments made by by the director of the Edward Norton Hulk, man. We're about to get into. So let's get into that here. Matter of fact, let me move that out the way. All right. Said the Incredible Hulk director, Luis Leterrier, I probably pronounced that wrong, critiqued the MCU's changes to the character, believing that he became more kiddish. The Hulk is a complex character within the Marvel universe. He said you want the primeval Hulk, the Rage Hulk, and then we go to the Gray Hulk, and then the Smart Hulk. You lose that a little bit, and you get a little bit more kiddish with it. I was like, okay, yeah, we're very far from my Hulk. And listen, cuz I don't disagree with that. You know how I feel.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get your take on it first, man. What's your opinion, man?
He's not wrong. It has become more kiddish. Was it the? It was also mentioned that the more recent well, not the more recent, but there was a stretch of the MCU movies that were essentially the Hulk movies. That's well the storyline. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it it does seem weird to have handicapped the Hulk because it's by far one of the strongest Avengers. It's supposed to be. It was no need for the Smart Hulk or Professor Hulk. It was no need for it. I think, especially as long as Tony uh, was around, like you don't need a Professor Hulk at all, because Tony is by far the smartest one around for a lot of the issues. Uh, the Professor Hulk, I feel like it was just doubling up on their smartness for no reason. It hurt to see how they changed him up because we didn't. The Edward Norton Hulk was the only like true rage Hulk that we got to see. That was part of
Mm-hmm.
the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
and it sucked just to have that one. Because if we would have got that type of Hulk, several movies, and then you see the dynamics start to change, then I would have been more okay with it. But yeah, it is more kiddish. Had him telling kids to dab in the restaurant, taking selfies, wearing shirts, things like that. Um, there was like the hook at a spot, and that's not his spot. They said, try not to be those folks. Uh, just today, going to have to be. Um, it's just not the Hulk that should be part of the Avengers. Um, because you need his power more than his brains to be able to fix situations. If you need brains, you have Tony, you have T'Challa, you have Professor X. Like you have all these other characters that you can bring into the MCU that can deal with that. If you want another brain, then bring back Banner. Bruce Banner has the brains for it. It was no need to have the Professor Hope in this situation when, like I said, I think that even when it came to him using the gauntlet, that's part of what hurt him was because he didn't have that rage to be able to protect him. He weakened, so when it came to using the gauntlet, it wore him out. So yeah, it is. It's Hulk is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. Just from the destruction, just from him being able to hold his own. Because I think if they would have maintained that rage, that would have given us a great chance to get Planet Hulk as
Mm.
well. You know, because that's something that we love to see in the MCU. Is Planet Hulk, him and just a planet of him just angry, rage. Uh, but yeah, I think that part they let us down. I do. One thing I do hope is they, whenever they do shift the MCU, that they do move away from. I We know at some point they're going to reboot the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
You think that it will be Secret Wars, which makes sense if they do end up doing it. I think, and I hope that with the reboot, we do get the Incredible Hulk with it as well. Someone that's young and someone that can be able to have be able to be around for a long time to allow us to have the incredible side of him and not just his brains. So, what you got?
Yeah. Uh, you know my opinion on this, man. I've been talking about this
Yeah,
for years.
yeah,
Just kind of it's certain characters, man, in the MCU, the way that they handle them. I feel like they mismanage on some of them. My prime example was Taskmaster. Um, I did not
oh
like the way they
man,
handled Taskmaster. I think a lot of people were upset about that. But it goes back to even the Mandarin the first
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
then even tried to correct it in Shang Chi.
yeah,
Just the way that they handle some of the characters. I can even go back to the ancient one, from
yeah,
Doctor Strange. I mean, it's just a lot of the characters. Well, not sorry, not a lot. There's some characters that they mishandle where they try to be creative
yeah,
on, with it, and it's crazy. But as far as the whole, let me get myself prepared for this, man. Listen, like I said, you heard me talk about this a million times. We got the real Hulk in the first three MCU movies, which was the Incredible Hulk, Avengers 1, and Avengers 2. Those were the Hulk. We talk about all the time, man, how the Hulk is like matter of fact, Loki in the first Avengers even kind of mentioned he's like an atomic bomb. He's that creature that you want to be careful of. You don't want to take him
yeah,
off. He's the
yeah,
threat, right? That's what we
yeah,
saw the Hulk as in the first three Marvel movies, right?
yeah,
Then there came Ragnarok. That's when the page is turned. Completely changed the Hulk to some running gag, some joke. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, we're gonna continue that. And then we're
yeah,
just gonna completely change him up as a character. Like he's not the secret weapon anymore. He's just running a joke. Like you said, you turn him into Professor Hulk just to say, "Oh, look, we have Professor Hulk in the movie."
yeah.
You know, the dude. No, I'm sorry. They jobbed him in Infinity War when he first
Oh
got
yeah,
fought Thanos. Now, the thing that made me mad about the movie, I think me and you talked about this. I told you this is what I was mad about. Now, the Hulk gets beat by Thanos. In the way he gets beat, the other
yeah,
characters didn't get beat like that.
yeah,
Tony Hulk held his own. Thor held his own. Captain America in Endgame held his own. But
yeah,
you can beat the Hulk like that.
yeah,
Now three of them guys can beat the Hulk like that, but you can beat the Hulk like that. But those three guys can go toe to toe with you. How
yeah,
much sense that make to you? Then on top of that, those three guys got their chances to get back at Thanos. Where was the Hulk at?
yeah, yeah.
Then let's another
He
issue I'm
deserved
having with
it.
this. When you said the Infinity Gauntlet, when he snapped his finger, then his arm got messed up and all that. Now, cuz the Hulk can
Yeah,
regenerate. He's probably one of the fastest regenerators in comics. Him and probably like
yeah,
Deadpool, probably the two fastest regenerative characters in all the comics, right? So you telling me you snap your finger and you can't regenerate? It had nothing to do with rage. That's part of his power. He can regenerate.
yeah,
All of a sudden now you can't regenerate. You walk around with a sling on your arm, bro. Like what they extremely depowered the Incredible Hulk in the movies, bro. Like you said, that Hulk in Infinity War and Endgame is completely different from the Hulk in the first three MCU movies. Now, I don't know why they did the Hulk like this. There's rumors because of all of a sudden Universal wouldn't give up the full rights back over to Marvel, so they're just gonna treat him like that. That makes no sense to me, bro.
Yeah.
Because now you're hurting your product. He's part of your product now, right? You're putting him on the
Yeah.
screen on your stuff, right? So why would you
Yeah.
hurt the product to prove a point to them? That makes no sense. And so, like I said, the Hulk being mistreated, man, is one of the biggest travesties, man, in the MCU, man. It's probably the biggest travesty right now in the MCU. The way they're handling the Hulk, man. I don't like it. I think me and you talked about it, man. Matter of fact, during the She-Hulk show, me and you talked about the fact how they treated Abomination.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Abomination is the same Abomination from the Edward Norton Hulk. You
Yeah.
can't tell me that. That way they did the dude, man, making him a hippie and all this other stuff. That's not Abomination, bruh. That's not Abomination. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, man. And I don't understand why they're doing the Hulk like that, bro. I really don't understand that, man. Now, like you said, hey, hopefully they reboot and all that stuff, but that's way further down the line because we're not getting Secret Wars till
Yeah.
like 2026 or 27 or whatever now, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, man, look, they gotta do better with the Hulk, man. They gotta do better with the Hulk. We don't need a Professor Hulk. We don't need a jokey, I'm wearing t-shirts and all that stuff, Hulk. We don't need none of that, bro. We need to get back the Hulk from the first 3 MCU movies. That's the one we need. Because like you said, I don't feel like we got enough of that story. Because like you didn't see enough of the struggle between those
Yeah.
two. They try to make it seem like you you see the struggle? Right here in Endgame when no, sorry, not Endgame, Infinity War,
Infinity
when
War.
he was like Hulk wouldn't come out and all that, bro, that's not the Hulk, bro. Like the Hulk get beat, he want to come back and try to get you, man. And then none of that, I'm scared of this
Exactly.
guy. I don't want to fight him. That's not the Hulk, bro.
Mm-mm.
So I'm just like, what? Like, well, who sat around in the boardroom was like, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do that to the Hulk.
Yeah.
Who said that, bro? I'm just like, this don't make no sense, man. I don't know. Not definitely not. You know how, like I said, you know how I feel about it, man. I don't like it at all. I just wish the MCU, but like I said, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, you got to do it like the comics. But I mean, but come on, bro.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the comics here. We're talking about how you did in the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
first 3 movies, not comics, but the movies. That's not the same Hulk. You know, like I don't feel like there is a what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a can't think of the word I'm trying to use here, but like it's not a fulfillment for us at the end of this journey for the Hulk. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I feel like you're digressing with the character. It's like if you kind of like you said, if you can feel him feeling the struggle between him and the Hulk, like you said, hey, I'm not necessarily saying have a Planet Hulk movie. That'd be nice. I would love a World
Yeah.
War Hulk movie. I would love that. Planet Hulk,
Yeah.
World War, because like you said, they try to give Hulk these little storylines within these like a couple of those few movies or whatever. Planet
Yeah.
Hulk was one of them. In Thor Ragnarok, that was supposed to be Planet Hulk. They kind of touched on a little bit of Planet Hulk and She Hulk when we went back to go pick up his son. Which that just
Mhm.
came out of nowhere too. I don't know. There was no build up to that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, oh, got a son. Okay, come on. And it's like, come on, man. I think I'm done my rant. But yeah, I 1,000,000% agree with the director. I've said that before. Like I said that like, a while back. You heard me talk about that,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
1,000,000% agree. It had to be said by somebody, man, because the mistreatment of the Hulk is ridiculous, man. It's like
Yeah.
they take away Captain America and Iron Man, and then they devalue the Hulk. They turn Thor into a running joke because Chris Hemsworth just
Yeah.
came out and kind of talked about that too. Like I don't understand what they're doing right now. And
Yeah.
like I said, I hate to keep harping on this because this goes back to me telling you before. It's because Kevin Feige has his hand in too many different things. He when he was running a tight ship, those characters were handled a little bit better.
Yeah.
But ever since, we see stuff all over the place now, man. There's no connectivity with the movies. There's no cohesiveness. Nobody has talked about that damn celestial sticking out of the Indian Ocean. Nobody talked about that. But hey, it is what it is, man. Matter of fact, I sent you a video the other day, man, by John talking about 10 things wrong with the MCU, and a lot of it
Yeah,
he was,
yeah,
and then every last point of the points he brought up is a million percent correct. We've been saying it on the
yeah,
show, so
yeah.
but it is what it is, man. You got anything else you want to add?
Nah, just hoping that they improve the Hulk. Like I said, especially with Iron Man and Captain America not around, you gotta have the proper Hulk for the situation. So hopefully
Facts.
they get it together.
Let me ask you one more question before we move on.
Yeah.
If you had to put your house on it, are we getting the Red Hulk in Captain America: New World Order?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You putting your house on it now.
He said, "If I had to, if I had to."
All
Yeah,
right,
I think so.
man.
Though. I think so. Though.
I think so too. I mean, you know what? Let me say that. I hope so. I hope so. I'm
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
hearing
Yeah.
rumors, but rumors have been wrong before. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping so. But then it's like I don't want them to use the Red Hulk and then like kill him off in the movie and it's like we don't get the Red Hulk Green Hulk you
Yeah.
know battle or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, man. This subject coming up here, man, is a pretty important one going on right now.
Yeah.
Uh, this is one you just brought to my attention, so I'm gonna let you take it away, man. Let's talk about the update of the strike of the writers and the actors.
So we know that the writers were the first ones to go on strike. They have been going on a few weeks prior to the actors going. Since then, both have been holding steady. Both there's supposed to be a talk that that the studios were to come back to the table. This last week before.
Yeah, week
Finally,
before. I think a week before.
we
Yeah.
also know, yeah, week before. We also know A24 Studios have agreed with the strike. So they were with that, with them agreeing with the or being able to come to a agreement. They've been able to start back up with their writing, with their movies and everything, which is great. Being an independent studio. But for the when it comes to the major studios, they've been losing a ton of money. All right, so according to just different outlets. It has Variety's recent report for the SAG-AFTRA strike included that having numerous high-profile productions shut down, which include the cost of sound stages, costumes, and more, could be running the studio $600,000 a week.
Say that one more time for the
Six
people in the back.
$600,000 a week.
That's
Mind you,
nothing.
it's been going on for well over a month and a half at this point. So just think about the totals that they've
I think it's about two
been.
months now.
Yeah, I think it's right around 2 months at this point. So just to get an idea of it, also have CNBC has one that came out just 10 days ago. So this was 10 days ago on
Mm.
the 9th. Hollywood strikes have already had a $3 billion impact on California's economy. Experts say it's causing a lot of hardship. People take selfies beneath the Hollywood sign as the Writers Guild strike continues on through early part of July at that point. So I guess to give you an idea, so they wrote this back on the 9th of August that California has lost about $3 billion within their economy. So with
Mm.
them just losing that much money in the economy, the California economy alone, I would think that the governor of California would be pushing for the studios to get to this table to talk uh, to be able to talk to the strikers, to the writers and the actors, primarily just to be able to get people back into get back people back to just doing the thing. Because $3 billion in the economy is a lot of money. That's just people being able to pay bills, being able to take care of families, and of course the rich will be able to get their stuff. But it's primarily just being able to allow for people to take care of their business. 3 billion, whew, That's a lot. That's a lot. And what's crazy is that uh, I do believe that if they agreed to both guilds, the writers and the actors, it, I, I feel like it would have been cheaper, like to just agree to it for them, or like within a time period, it would be cheaper. Probably like overall over
Hmm.
like a decade, it will probably cost more. Of course, uh, cost of living goes up, but I feel like just 600,000 per week for the studios, plus the 3 billion for California's economy is massive, and it's no telling like how much it's going for like Toronto, Vancouver,
Hmm.
Atlanta, these
Hmm.
other areas that
I believe
have
New York.
steady, yeah, New
Hmm.
York. These areas that studios have constant sound stages and things on to make their movies and shows, especially if they want to get out of California. So it's not just, I know it's just not California affected. They just have they're taking the biggest hit at this point, but I know other areas are taking hits as well. What you think?
Where do I
Yeah.
begin, man? Listen, you ever heard this word called karma?
Man, listen.
Look, man, they this is the thing. Remember we talked about this, man. Remember when they made that comment when this first started? The studios made this comment about, oh, we just gonna wait them out and pretty much
Hmm.
starve them out. They're gonna come back to us, so we're not worried about it, right? That was their attitude about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Funny how the tables have turned. Now you're struggling right now to
Yeah.
the point that you have to come back to the table and talk about it, bro. Now I
Yeah.
just did the math, man. Now I just guessed it about 2 months, right? So that's about what 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's almost $5 million right there.
Yeah.
Now this could be long. It could be more than that. I was just kind of giving a guesstimate right here.
Yeah.
So listen, bro. For them to lose that much and for them to finally come to the table, like you said, you lost that much. Now you could have saved majority of that if you had just gave that to the people that been
Yeah.
asking for it, right? And you see how that usually works, but it's
Yeah.
not until, like I said, it's always, it's not just in this situation, it's in any situation. It's not when it comes to negotiating. It's not until you're affected, so then you want to make a change.
Yeah.
That's usually how that works.
Hmm.
And like you said, in an economy like California, these people are just asking for a livable wage.
Hmm.
I told you about the actress who works with John Campea. How she only making 27,000 a year living in California.
Yeah.
You
Not
can't
enough.
survive on 27,000 in Texas. Just imagine in California, bro.
Yeah.
And on top of that, she does not make enough to be covered for medical insurance.
Yeah. This is sad.
So listen, man, and like you said, this is something that it should have been done. Um, I I did not think of the more integral parts of this whole situation being affected by it. I thought it was, we think of the surface stuff like, okay, this movie's not gonna be made,
Yeah.
so that's why it's like, oh, okay, that's why they come back to the table. But no, it's a lot of the integral parts that,
Hmm.
like I said, which the economy is starting to get affected now around there.
Yeah.
So because, hey, if I don't have a job to spend money, I can't spend money grocery stores. I can't spend money at the shops,
Hmm.
shoes, clothes, or whatever, right? I can't do
Yeah.
that because I don't have the money right now. We're going on strike. And so now you're not only affecting just the movie, but you're affecting everything around it now. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense to me. I'm glad it's happening to these people so they can finally wake up and see how this is affecting them, man. And then maybe they can start coming to the table and actually give these people a fair treatment of what they're asking for the
Yeah.
actors and for the writers. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, man, I've said this a million times. Like the people at that level are the backbone of society. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones who help keep the lights on and all that stuff. For these billionaires to be able to make their billions and
Yeah.
live in their mansions on the hill in Beverly Hills, some damn where. You know what I'm saying? Like we're the reason why you're able to do that. So it would think it would make sense to treat the people with a little bit more respect.
Yeah.
The people who are helping you get your billions. My pops was telling me about a story the other day, talking about when his old bosses had that mentality. It's like, look, if you treat these people with respect, then they will want to work harder. You know what I'm saying?
That
Like
part.
nobody. And when he said that, I said, bro, that's very simple. Like I don't understand why companies and stuff like that don't understand that. Like
Yeah. You feel
you see
appreciated.
Yeah, just feel appreciated. Was what he said too. And like you see these people nowadays, man, in any form, any company, it's like
Hmm.
all of them had the same mentality, bro. It's just like, yo, let me just, well, I'm the boss. They just have to do what I say. You know, no matter how
Hmm.
we treat them, they gotta do what I say. And it's like, bro, you understand that if you treat these people with respect, you compensate them well enough, they will work for you, bro. That's proven. It's a fact. You know
Proven
what I'm
fact.
saying? Like
Yeah.
but most people don't understand that, man. So it like I said, I hope we hope this gets resolved, man, because more and more movies and stuff are starting to get affected or whatever. But kind of like what I told you before, man. Look, I don't care as much if the people don't get what they deserve, bro. Like if the people get what they deserve, cool. Then we can start the movies back. I would love for the movies and stuff to start back up. I would love for the shows and
Yeah.
stuff to start back up. I'm not
Yeah.
dying for it right now, bro. As long as I don't feel comfortable sitting at home like, man, I need this movie right now, and this person over here
Yeah.
can't afford to keep his family safe or whatever, keep a roof over their head or whatever the case is, right? So
Yeah.
as far as the movies and stuff, I can wait. I got you can catch them on old shows. I was doing that at one point, watching old stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's still there for you. So, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that, bro.
Yeah. I agree. Give the people what they want. That's all I
Got
got.
to get, got to get the people what they want. Shout out to Jenna Rose. But yeah, cuz I just got one question for you, man. What are you watching? In
Man,
my
listen.
Batman voice.
I was nervous yesterday. The My Adventures of Superman hadn't updated. It was just sitting there seven, so I was thinking that was still on the episode. But the eighth one did drop. Finally saw that it's supposed to be 10 this season, so looking forward to talking about that here in a couple of weeks. Still on that Harley Quinn, fantastic show. The You got to watch Johnny Manziel documentary on
Ooh.
Netflix. Yeah, it's good. It is good. So if you follow college football, you know about Reggie Bush getting the Heisman taken away for taking money.
Mm-hmm.
And then with this documentary, it talks about how Johnny got money while in college for the Heisman. Well, after it was after the Heisman. So like that was one of my puzzles. Like, yo, if Johnny get to keep his stuff, Reggie need to get his stuff back. I see how it's a little bit different, but I still think Reggie should get his
No
stuff back
comment.
because he was by far one of the most talented college athletes of all time. Dude was a beast. It's been what else am I up on? Yeah, mainly I've been mainly on DC, making sure that I stay up on DC. Not much new Marvel or Disney's been out. I know, like we talked about, Soccer is coming out next week, so that's going to be fun. But and then I've been reading up on Kingdom Come. So far, that's been great. Seeing Superman that has exiled himself. So it's been good as far as the reading and shows as well. What you got going?
Man, I got a lot of them, bro. So I've been watching, of course, Harley Quinn. I've been watching My Adventures of Superman. Been watching Hero Academia. Um, I watched Captain Fall on Netflix. That's a pretty good show, man. I hope they do a part two for that. There was something else I was watching. Oh, me and my wife been watching Winning Time. Finally got
Oh
around
yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
we got to get that. Yeah, got to get
Yeah,
on that.
finally got around to that. Let's see what else. What else? I feel like it's something else I'm missing, bro. That I've been watching. Oh, Solar Opposites, man. I gotta watch Solar Opposites, man. It's from the creators of uh Rick and Morty.
Oh
On It's
snap!
on Hulu. Yeah, I didn't even know it came out. I just happened to be scrolling through Hulu. That's where I watch Hero Academia at, and I saw it on there. I was like, wait, what? And I saw a new on there. I'm like, oh man, I didn't know they had new episodes or whatever already. Yeah, they got the whole entire season of season 4 on there. I finished that in like 2 days. No, I take that back. I finished that almost in one night. No, I finished it almost in one night. I think I watched all. It was 11 episodes, not 10. I finished 10 episodes in one night, and then I had finished the next one on the next day. The last one on the next day. So yeah, I was done with that. Now I see why. A lot of these studios don't put the whole entire season on there no more, man. They just do the
Yeah,
individual episode.
yeah,
I finished that sucker almost in one night, man.
yeah,
What else? Oh, you know what, man? Let me talk about this too, man. I hate going on rants, man. I really do. So I think I sent it to you. So Ahsoka is coming out, right?
yeah,
What I'm about to say, cuz this is why I don't want. This is why I'm not a fan of making just Star Wars shows. John Campy had a great point on his show about how they're handling Star Wars shows. Now, now, when we talk about movies, Star Wars is in itself an event film. No matter what Star Wars movie comes out, it is an event film.
yeah,
MCU has one event film here, two, every once in a while. Like Ant-Man is not an event film. Avengers
yeah,
is. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So they have various event films. Every Star Wars movie that comes out is an event film. You see folks dressing up, lines wrapped around the building. Folks want to see a Star Wars movie,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the point I'm making here is they don't handle the shows the same way they handle the movies, which is why I say I'm not a fan of just making them the shows. They don't
Oh,
treat the
okay.
shows with the same care as the movies. 30
Yeah,
minutes is not long enough.
yeah.
Like
They got to be
the
pushing an
way
hour each.
you matter of fact, you want to know let me give you a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say you can make the because I'm gonna say you can make the shows event shows. You can do
Yeah,
that. Have you seen House of Dragons?
yeah.
How long is each episode?
An hour. I think the season finale was pushing an hour and a half ish, something like that.
Now, is that a show that everybody talks about every day?
Yeah. When
That's
it
an
was
event.
when it
They
was,
make that show
yeah,
into an
when it was
event
running
show.
through. Yeah,
Yes, that's an event show. Which
yeah,
means with you having that big of an IP at Star Wars, you would want to make this as the movies are event movies. You want to make your shows have that same feel. You got these
yeah,
shows coming on like it's some kind of a evening show that comes on CBS. That's how it
yeah,
feels. And so when you make these shows, like, little 30 minutes, you get this little snippet of a show. Like, bro, no, bro. Like, if you want
yeah,
this the same feel as the movies or whatever, you want that same type of buzz as the movies. You make the show at least 45 minutes,
yeah.
right? So of course the other Star Wars shows all 30 minutes. So with Ahsoka, it's going to vary. Yeah. Why not make each episode at least 45 minutes or maybe 50 minutes?
Yeah,
That makes absolutely no sense to me. Good. This is why you hear me rant about the Star Wars, how they're handling Star Wars. This right here is why.
yeah,
This is why. This is why the Star. This is why you hear like rumors of Patty Jenkins maybe getting. I'm sorry, not Patty Jenkins. Kathleen Kennedy maybe getting fired.
yeah,
It's how they're handling Star Wars, bro. They're not doing it right. Now, the first two episodes of Ahsoka are going to be the longer episodes because remember they're going to drop the first two episodes, and then after that, it goes down.
yeah,
So I don't understand why that's so hard to understand, bro. I really don't understand why that's so hard to understand. Why are you being difficult with the shows? You're not
yeah,
putting any movies out.
yeah,
You will if you wanna draw some type of positive attention to something of Star Wars right now because right now you're not getting that. You're getting backlash from your CEO. You're getting backlash from everything that you're dropping from the movies and the shows.
yeah,
Why not try to do something that's going to draw positive attention to the studio?
yeah.
Instead, you continue to keep doing the same thing over and over again. What's the definition of insanity, cuz?
Doing some the same, expecting a different result.
Thank you. Like, I don't understand why this is so difficult. I swear to God, I don't, man. And it makes it now. Of course, we're gonna watch it. I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm not gonna watch it. I'm hoping, praying that it's good, right?
Yeah,
But track records, man, you hear me talking about it all the time. Track records. It's like, bro, you come
yeah,
on, Star Wars. You got to get it together.
yeah,
You're Star Wars. Star Wars is one of the main reasons why a lot of these directors in today's um today's time are
yeah,
directors. A lot of them refer back to Star Wars as the reason why they want to become a director. And it's like, bro, you're losing that, man. Now you're becoming like a running joke in the industry, bro. Because like it's like like I told you before, hey, we coming out with that that Cat Bane movie. Okay,
yeah.
I said we're coming out with Cat Bane. I know, I heard you.
Hmm.
Okay,
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, exactly. We'll see. Like that's what you're becoming now. You're becoming a running joke. Like I said before, you can see people. You see people online all the time. Hey, we coming out with this blah 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 movie. Okay,
Yeah.
y'all heard him over here. They said they coming out with another movie. Okay, we'll see. So when is Mandalorian season 3 coming out?
Mm.
So like we're not worried about that because y'all say that every day is a new movie coming out. Like I said,
Yeah.
Ray got a new trilogy coming out. Ain't heard nothing else about it. But yeah, just had to get that little rant. I forgot to bring that up, man.
Okay.
Star Wars got to do better, man. They got to do better. Oh yeah, you're right, Black Noir. I got to get back on it. I got to get back on it, man.
That was good.
I was on season 2, I believe. I'm on season 2. And I know they got a new season on there now. I got to get back on that, man. I was watching that too, but like I said, so much content, man, out here that I haven't caught up on yet. So, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back on that. That's a good. That's a good one, Black Noir. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got, man. You got anything else before we wrap it up?
All right, now that's all I got. Is it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. I had to scroll through the brain real quick. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I know I was always over here ranting and all that stuff, man. I just had to. I had to, bro. I had to bring that up,
Yeah,
bro. Because
nah, it's understandable.
Star Wars just that's a passion of ours, man. You
Yeah,
remember when we had the box set, the all 6 movies and all that stuff? Watch it all the
bro,
time, man.
man,
We was into like
exactly.
the old like remember that Star Wars um what was it Clone Wars like animated movie that came out. Maybe we
Yeah,
watched it. Like just all that, man. Just big fans of it, man. Just right now it's not we're not getting that same feel from it, man. So
yeah.
but yeah, man. My bad. I'm over texting folks right now. I'm trying to get some other stuff done. We got another show coming up. But listen, man. Like I said, man. Look, we should be back here next Saturday, man. I don't know. I don't know. Is there something else coming up?
Uh, outside of a movie, I feel like there is.
I feel like
We'll
there is
see
something coming
Wednesday.
out too. Yeah, well, we'll see Wednesday. Yeah, you're right. Everything coming out on Wednesday, it seems like. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Listen, guys. With all that being said, man, it is your boys, man. It's your boy Rel and Will. Because we're geeks here, guys. We encourage you to stay geek, man. Hope you enjoyed yourself today, guys. We encourage you to stay geeked. And we out.